justice and peace, and equality.
Game Changers Magazine, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village podcast, where change starts with conversation. And we're back with another episode with Mr. Duro Haynes, candidate for State Senate 17. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Man, it's an honor. Next generation leader today. I'm so proud of the generation that's coming along, which we had Adrian Conasseri Jr., Jaden Williams in here. Tell us why the young people are exploding, Duro.
Yeah, I mean, if you are in my age group, about 20 to about 28, 30, for the entirety of our entire life, we've seen the same old thing. Politicians have been promising us the same things over and over and over again, and we have gotten further from the goal, not closer.
Okay.
So enough is enough. A lot of my colleagues, a lot of my friends, a lot of them are my friends from my time in this organizing space, and watching them take this step, not because it's easy, not because it's fun, but because it's necessary for their communities and neighborhoods, has been really, really inspiring.
Okay. Now, I want to talk to you because I moved to Henry County in 2011. I was able to see the game change in so many different levels when we were getting ready to turn the county blue. When you came into the game, you came into the game because I know your lineage, I know your people, but you came into the game as the game had changed from red to blue. Mm-hmm. Tell us what that leadership looked like and what was the difference between trying to change it from red to blue and maintaining blue? Yeah,
so it's all about the goal kind of shifts a little bit when you're not trying to defeat as many Republicans. We're still trying to defeat some closed-minded, backwards Republicans here in Henry. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
I know this from my time as being chair of the Henry County Democratic Party here.
Okay.
But what I keep pitching, what I like to call inside baseball to our members is we're at our meetings and we're talking, we're at our events. I'm always saying this is about the next 20 years, about what the future of this place looks like.
That's right.
That if we can have these robust primaries, if we can have and focus on excellent candidate recruitment, we won't just elect a Democrat, we'll elect the best Democrat.
Correct.
And that will shape our community in a way that will baffle and confuse the mind.
Okay.
We're talking about long-term, all the boring stuff we don't think about when we think about politics.
Correct.
Code revision, right?
Wow.
Stuff like that. Electing Democrats up and down the ballot really does reorient our community from how it is now to how it will be in 20 years. So different end goal, but same basic principle of how to get there.
Most definitely. Now, you mentioned you were the president of the Henry County Democratic Party. It was a time, and I'm just gonna go there. It was a time where I felt like the Henry County Democratic Party was mobilizing, and then I didn't hear anything. Tell us, what was the Democratic Party trying to accomplish? What did it look like? Because we know as the party changed and leadership changed in this county, so did certain people got the information and certain people didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what did that look like? And tell us about that.
Yeah, that question is more a question about the next steps of community building, community organizing in this era more than anything.
Okay.
The Henry County Democrats were facing 3 big headwinds.
Okay.
I took on the party as chairman in 2022.
Okay.
And it needed a major rebuilding.
Okay.
First and foremost, it was a party for a smaller, more sleepy county than what we had morphed into in a very short amount of time.
Okay.
So, and then the second thing is that the party also had gotten beaten up real bad with COVID. In 2020, a lot of members stopped engaging, stopped participating.
Okay.
And a lot of new people moved to Henry County and Georgia in particular in the 2020-2021 year. So we had a whole bunch of people that had never heard of us before, had never engaged with us before, and all of our regulars were kind of tapped out.
Yeah.
And then you marry this with this third problem that is a bigger problem in community organizing today, which is this digital siloing, where algorithms have siloed us into different paths and whatever. You can post whatever you want on Instagram if you don't got the right hashtag, if you don't post it at the right time, if you're not the right content, people just won't see it.
Wow.
So you kind of marry all these 3 things together, you have this unique problem. where all of a sudden this machine, the Democratic Party of Henry County, that's supposed to communicate to people, suddenly is unable to do so.
Wow.
So tough challenges when I took over, but I have to say we've increased our membership over 80%.
Okay.
We've defeated Republicans up and down the ballot, flipping city council seats, state legislature seats, and we're on track for one of the best years in the books this year in 2026.
Wow. Now, you mentioned about using social media to communicate with the Democratic Party, Henry County Democratic Party, communicating with the community. Well, who are some of the communicative partners that you guys are partnering with? Because I understand having an engine on the inside, you know what I mean? But I, as an African-American owned media company, being in the county for 10 years, I'd never heard from the Henry County Democratic Party after, and I'm like, okay, we were part of changing the game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So what, did you guys, shift, or what was it what was going on? Because I don't, what media companies were y'all partnering with in order to mobilize the message? Not to say you guys failed or anything, but I just think some demographics got in touch.
Hey, I think one of the most important things that a leader can do is assess a situation and, have a frank understanding of what happened.
Okay.
You look at 2024, the point blank period, no matter how you cut it.
Right.
Our message didn't get across.
Okay.
People didn't hear us.
Okay.
I remember knocking doors in 2024 in late October, right, lead up to the election.
Okay.
And I was in Stockbridge, my neighborhood, place where I grew up. I knocked on this gentleman's door.
Wow.
And he said, I don't plan on voting. I have no plan to vote. I don't want to vote for Kamala Harris.
Okay.
And that's when I knew right then we have a real big problem. There is a flashing warning sign and something has to be done.
Okay.
This brought us into 2025. We all know how 2024 ended up.
Correct.
That being said, I always like to honk our own horn. Henry County was the farthest left swing in the entire country. I'm not making that up.
Wow.
In the entire nation.
Yeah.
More Democrats than ever voted for Democrats in 2024 in Henry County than at any point in time in history.
I agree with that.
It was really phenomenal. But, it's a group project, right? You can't take credit when things, just because you guys did good, if the end goal didn't end up what it needed to be. And so in 2025, we hit the streets with a listening tour where we talked to folks in all four of our cities in Stockbridge, McDonough, Hampton, and Locust Grove to figure out what the disconnect was.
Okay.
And with that, we used robocalling to talk to people. We posted Instagram ads to try to draw people in, and we got folks. And this is what was both encouraging and, kind of upsetting to me, that we were seeing folks that we've never seen before.
Wow.
Which is, when you're leading an organization like this, good. You want to see folks you've never seen before.
Most definitely.
But also oh gosh, we're 6 months late talking to you guys for the first time.
Yeah.
And that's why I say we're on track to an even better year this year.
Now, I do want to commend you. So this is where I want to commend you at, because we got the youngest mayor in the nation.
Yeah.
I think it's the second youngest mayor in the nation. Under leadership like yours. So I saw where we went from one generation to the next generation in showing leadership. No one expected Jaden to win.
Yeah.
How did the Democratic Party pull that out? And I know mayoral candidates are not nonpartisan and things of that nature, but I'm looking at the young leadership in yourself, you being 26 years old, Jaden being 22 years old, Adrian Conisari Jr., all the young brothers out here that are running, taking national office. How do you guys mobilize these young people to get out to vote, man?
Man, first off, these young folks are hungry.
Okay.
Like I said at the beginning, they want something new. They need something new. They're working on something new.
Okay.
So it's all about creating a space for folks to grow. And I love to take credit for it and say, hey, man, this is all me. But I wouldn't have had this space if folks didn't open this door for me.
Okay.
I look at these other county parties from around the state, love them to death, love them to bits, but I talk to some of the folks who are my age or around my generation's age,
okay,
and they talk about getting beaten down and browbeaten and shut out of these rooms,
right.
And in Henry County, that just didn't happen.
Right,
in Henry County,
right.
Folks opened the door for me. Chairwoman Carlotta Harrell opened the door for me.
Correct.
Gave me space to, number one, learn.
Yes.
Number two, apply what I've learned.
Okay.
To be able to make mistakes in a controlled environment. Representative Regina Lewis Ward,
right.
a state house representative here in Henry.
Okay.
Representative Almighty Holly. These are folks who have always had my back in being able to, learn and grow. And from that, once you got that blueprint, you just provide that same space for new people. And I have to say, I'm very proud of our party here in Henry,
right.
Because it does foster that ability for growth and for people to, not just young people, we love our young people, but also folks of all kinds of stripes and backgrounds. Mary Ann Santos, one of the people who flipped a seat here in Henry County, she's a state representative.
Okay.
She's comes from a Mexican Hispanic background, and she's a hardworking single mother.
Okay.
In any other party at any other point in time, I don't think a person like that would have been able to have the success she has had.
Definitely.
But because we fostered that environment as a community here, we're able to win those battles.
Man, I just want to say, not only were you able to mobilize the next generation leaders of today, as far as I think you said that demographic was 26 to 30.
Mm-hmm.
I saw in Henry County alone, and not just Henry County, but across the state of Georgia, where you had the moms and dads generation, the sandwich generation, I should say, of today take office. You had Mayor Kamali Varner take over in McDonough. You had Mayor Carlos Greer take over in Locust Grove. Mayor Ann Tarpley. These are the generation, the sandwich generation that's between the old and the new. And we're thinking like, man, how did we get here? You know what I'm saying? So, like, how did you tie all that in to the young and the sandwich generation? Like, with you being the leader of the Democratic Party, because I saw you boots on the ground looking at your social media and things like that. How did you do that?
Man.
And your team. I'm sorry, because I know you don't like to take all the credit.
No. It really is the type of community organizing that folks should strive towards.
Wow.
Which is this holistic approach of saying, hey, man, we're not just talking, we love our young folks. I keep saying it. We love our young folks.
Correct.
But we're not just talking to them.
Okay.
We're talking to the single mother that's 47 years old who has 2 kids to take care of.
Okay.
She doesn't have much time to do anything outside of go to work and take care of her kids.
Okay.
Those are the folks that we're talking to. Those are folks that these sophisticated multi-million-dollar campaigns just don't talk to.
Correct.
They leave them out. And also, I always tout our by-the-numbers approach. I'm a data man. I love the data. I love coming over this stuff. Henry County was the fastest-growing county in the entire nation from 2021 to 2023. 3 years of consecutive growth over growth. There was a whole group of people that had never been talked to by any Georgia instrument ever before. Folks from all over, from California, from New York, from Texas, wherever, Chicago. Tell the truth, shame the devil. There are folks who are kind of like me, who've been in this county their entire life. They're a bit older than me. Maybe their grandparents are also from this county.
Absolutely.
And, they feel, kind of blood and soil about it, that this is theirs and nobody else gets to get let in.
Yeah.
We went out and we sought people who could speak to these folks. One of my good pals, Demetrius Rucker.
Love that guy, man.
Always tell the story about how me and one of my best friends, Christian, I was maybe 22, 23 at the time. Christian might have been 19, maybe 20. And we walked into Demetrius' door and we knocked on him. He didn't know us, from 2 strangers on the street, let us in, and we convinced him to run for state house.
Wow.
Now, 4 years ago. I tell that story because Demetrius is a veteran, Chicago native, and he moved here because, the same reason everybody's moving to Henry County and the South Side in general. Cheaper cost of living, more opportunity, and he had a unique voice that could speak to people who were also like that.
Wow.
He was the closest state house race that didn't end up in a win that year.
Yes.
So I can talk about that all day long, about how upset I am about that, but I still want to talk about how great that moment was.
That's right.
Because of how it was endemic of the coalition that we were building.
Totally understand. And it's so interesting. The people who paved the way. You mentioned Carlotta Harrell, 2-time Democratic chairwoman, Henry County history maker, Regina Ward, El Mahad. I mean, people who have trailblazed and paved the way. Yeah. You know, you have been able to bridge the gap, and I know you're going to do great things. We're going to talk about some of the things you got coming up, and we definitely want to talk about the teen takeover, because we really want to talk about that. We want to get a little background on Duro Haynes. You guys stay tuned. We got to go to a commercial break and recognize our sponsors: Game Changers Magazine, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village podcast, where change starts with conversation. You guys stay tuned. We got Duro Haynes in the building. Ease up.
At Eagles Landing Diabetes and Endocrinology, our business is your health. Dr. Ronald S. Watts and his staff are dedicated to the pillars of quality health, such as equity, effectiveness, efficiency, integration, safety, timeliness, and people-centeredness. Eagles Landing Diabetes and Endocrinology specializes in the evaluation and treatment of diabetes and endocrine disorders. Thyroid, neck and parathyroid gland ultrasound examinations, and vascular examination for peripheral artery disease are just some of the services that Dr. Ronald S. Watts and his staff provide. Looking for treatment? We are currently accepting new patients. Eagles Landing Diabetes and Endocrinology accepts all major insurance. Give us a call at 770-389-9494 or visit us at 550 Eagles Landing Parkway, Suite 110, Stockbridge, Georgia. Eagles Landing Diabetes and Endocrinology. Our business is your health. Visit us at eldiabetes.org. Is your baby mama tripping and won't let you see your kid? Don't know how to get your parental rights and want to be in your child's life? The Legit Lawyer is your #1 choice for legitimation, custody, and visitation to help start your journey of having a healthy relationship with your kids. We offer affordable rates and walk with you every step of the way so you can smile again and enjoy quality time with your kids. Our 30-minute free consultation gives you a scope of the tools needed to help you win the battle. At Legit Lawyer, we believe every father deserves the right to be in their child's life and to have a healthy relationship with the ones you love. Call us today at 769-DAD-WINS or visit us online at www.thelegitlawyer.com and let us help you to get legit. #DadsWin.
Game Changers Magazine, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village podcast, where change starts with conversation. We're back. Mr. Duro Haynes, candidate for State Senate District 17. Man, next generation leader today. Big work, man.
Yeah, totally.
What team takeover?
Yeah.
All right. Georgia just experienced counties across Georgia.
Yeah.
Just experienced team takeover. Some things went left, some things went right, some things went different directions. How do you think Henry County responded to team takeover? Were we too aggressive? Did we take it serious enough, or how did we go about it? What's the misconception of teen takeover?
Yeah. One thing I won't do is ever punish kids for being kids.
Okay.
We talk about we want kids to be kids all the time, right?
Right.
Look, if folks hated what teenagers are doing now, they hate teenage Duro. I'll tell you that for sure. I believe in treating the symptom, not the problem, right?
Okay.
Or treating the problem, not the symptom.
Right.
And why do kids feel like, teenagers say, we're going to take over this entire air park. That's what they were doing in Henry County.
Okay.
The air park right on Jonesboro Road and the Target Shopping Center, but the trampoline park.
Okay.
Trying to replicate stuff that they had seen from around the metro.
Okay.
And the question is why do they want to do that, right?
Right.
Our teens have a lot of energy.
Okay.
And not a lot of teen-centric spaces for them to hang out.
Right.
And I think it's important for our state to invest in our children.
Okay.
And I don't mean that in like the, nebulous way that every politician says.
Most definitely.
I want to invest in our kids. No, I want to make sure our kids have spaces. A lot of them, we talk a lot about preparing our kids for the next generation.
Okay.
Or for work or for school. I want to make sure that we're preparing our kids holistically.
Correct.
In that crowd of kids who came up with that takeover, who made a flyer, who connected with their peers.
Right.
They did community organizing. They did graphic design. I don't know. You know how hard it is to organize a group of 30 people, let alone a group of like 150 to 200, 500.
Right.
That's talent, that's skill, and those kids need a space and an outlet to be able to use that and utilize it. And our world is less safe, or feels less safe than it did maybe when you were growing up or when I was growing up. But in the same vein, we have to be intentional about creating spaces for our kids to not just be prepared for school, not just be prepared for tests, not be prepared to do their work on their Chromebooks, but also be prepared to be leaders, thinkers, artists, creators, creatives. And I think if you do that, you'll see a little less of the maybe a bit antagonistic team takeovers.
Now, I don't want to bash anybody, and I don't want to make it seem as if we're going left or we're going right with this thing, but we got to keep it straight and narrow. We saw the elected officials get up and say, hey, we would not tolerate this in our county, take a stand, we would not do this, we would not do that, this is unwelcome. But I didn't see a plan of action of how we're going to turn this thing around and say, well, let's see what these guys are. What's really going on?
Yeah.
Like, tell us your thoughts on that, man.
Yeah, I mean, not here to bash anybody. I know when you're a leader, it's tough to make decisions, especially under pressure, under the gun.
Okay.
I think it is smart, both for businesses and people who want to do their shopping. That Target Shopping Center, major economic engine of our state. Of our county, and Jonesboro Road, one of the busiest throughways in the entire county.
Okay.
It is dangerous to have kids, clogging up that area, and I understand the knee-jerk reaction to be like, okay, we gotta kill this real quick.
Correct.
But I do have to agree with you that I don't think I saw like an off-ramp for our kids to be able to do something. This is what I'm talking about by preparing them holistically for being citizens, for being adults, for being members of the community. Time is a weird, fickle thing. Right now, a 16-year-old is somebody that you and I will have to interact with in the next 10 years as a grown adult, making grown adult decisions.
Correct.
And it's important that they have these spaces for them to grow. So I want our state to invest in, when I say spaces, I mean centers for kids to have, spend time at. I want to invest in more wraparound care services. So places where kids can be athletes, places where kids can train for workforce development, places where kids can interact with other kids, teenagers can interact with other teenagers, and also places that allow our community to come in and be able to talk and have a conversation. We talk a lot at kids. We don't really talk with kids.
Correct.
And this county has on this campaign trail I have met so many nonprofit leaders who specifically work with youth, at-risk youth, young men, young women. And preparing them to be good members of our society. There's a disconnect between what they're offering and how to get to these kids. Our state is not supporting these nonprofits. They're not providing grant pathways for them. And I mean, tell the truth, shame the devil. When you have black and brown skin, and you own your corporation, you own your nonprofit, your 501c3, you are shut out from grants.
Absolutely. Well, and it's so funny that you said that, Duro, because I noticed one thing, and when I first moved to Henry County, I saw the same people in the community offering their services. Do you think it's being overshadowed by churches and elected officials who offer nonprofit services? Like, I don't see a lot of the elected officials partnering with community organizations to get this done. They end up creating their own nonprofits, and it's like the hero to everything. You see what I'm saying? But what I remember in the change of the guard and the change of the game, partnering with organizations in the community and mobilizing those organizations. And a lot of those organizations I don't see around, So how do you think we can bridge that gap, where our elected officials and community can come together and have heads at the table and say, hey, we're one. We're back to the village concept. We're back to the village mind state. Because I think a lot of those organizations get overshadowed by the hierarchy of elected officials and mega churches.
Yeah, no, definitely. There is something at play where, the government both being local elected, and also these more larger nonprofits, whether they be churches or religious spaces or some of these larger 501c3s that specifically target and try to help out youth. And it does kind of become like a catch-all. And then it's like if you're not on the inside, you just don't know, and then you can't fit in. This comes from the problem of scale, where I talk to some of our elected officials and they're sweating about how can they create kid programs or youth programs within their district or in their area of service. And the only people who can operate at that scale are these large operations. And this goes back to the problem that I was talking about earlier with our state not properly investing in nonprofits, in private businesses, especially if you are black or brown, or if you are serving black and brown communities. This is a simple policy choice. Seriously. The governor appoints this board of folks who gets to determine who gets what grants. And at any point in time, he can determine, all right, let's focus on this. He ain't done it in 4 years or 3 years. He ain't gonna do it in this last one. And if we get Burt Jones or Rick Jackson or whoever's going to fight it out with a knife for the Republican nomination, they aren't going to care about Henry and Clayton counties either. So, I mean... Even with Burt Jones being from Butts County, I mean, he's pulling in the black vote, especially black men. I mean, I have watched this song and dance play out forever. Burt Jones, when he realized, I'm getting ready to run for governor, let me do an HBCU tour around our state HBCUs. Our black institutions don't need cheap vocal platitudes. We need real action. HBCUs are still getting bomb threats to this day. Talking about DEI or trying to basically stifle black education. And look, HBCUs are the leading producer of black professionals in our country, still to this day. And I know a lot of people think that black kids don't go to HBCU. Look, you're just looking at HBCU alum right now. I know the engine that these places are. And, disrespectfully, Burt Jones is not interested in creating black power, black wealth, black education. He just wants to check off a box for his reelection. That's not going to satisfy our community. That's not delivering real wins for us. It's hurting us, not helping us. And the same thing goes to business creation and development. The same thing goes to our wraparound services for our at-risk youth. Well, and I've heard, and just being in conversations, and I've actually been in some rooms Burt Jones has been in, they say, hey man, Burt Jones, he wins governor, we get a major economic overhaul on the South Side. So, are we thinking across party lines like Republican or Democrat, or who can best work and agree? So, look, I like to fashion myself as a maverick. I know I'm the chairman of the Democratic Party. I'm running as a Democrat in this race. And I purport and I support the Democratic ideals of expanding our social safety net and defending our liberties to choose and write our own stories. But at the same time, as soon as I put my right hand on that Bible and I swear I get sworn in, I am doing the people's work for the people of Georgia. So if it is a Republican lieutenant governor or a Republican governor, best believe we're going to talk and we're going to try to come up with real solutions. I'm going to push them. If Burt Jones says he wants to do an economic overhaul on the South Side, potential Governor Jones, let's do some work. But that being said, that to me that is like this is our plan B scenario. Plan A is getting somebody in there who understands our problems, who understands these issues that we're kind of dealing with right now. And I think we got a robust competition on the Democratic side to figure out who's going to be our nominee. And I hope, one of my roles as chairman is beating the drum for Henry County, for the South Side at every opportunity I get. Chairman Charlie Bailey is tired of hearing from me, tired of texting him saying, hey, when are we going to get some investment down here? When are we going to get an office down here? When are we, whatever. That's my job. That's what I do. I tell these candidates, hey man, if we don't see y'all on the South Side, I don't know if these folks are going to vote for you. Because our folks deserve to have a seat at the table as well. And they need a full-throated, real aggressive leader who cares about this community, who wants to see it flourish. And win, lose, or draw this primary, I will continue to be that voice based off of these connections and inroads I've made over this time.
And very interesting. Now, we just turned the county blue, right? Parts of Georgia blue. Georgia's still a red state. We understand. What do you say to the people who, hey man, we got black leaders or Democratic leaders in office, and I still don't feel like nothing is done for me? Because I think this is where the fatigue comes out, where Burt Jones and candidates like Burt Jones can say, hey, I mean, he literally has black men, barbershops, athletes, you know what I'm saying, hey, Burt Jones, girl dads, and all kind of, I mean, he's gone to the bar with it. You know what I'm saying? And I think we try to separate, and it's so funny because I think we take the time and we do too much segregating black men, black women, LGBTQ. Like, when are we going to come together as a village? Talk to me. Like, what do you say to those people who say, man, I voted for the black vote, I voted for the Democrat, nothing's changed?
Yeah. This is my argument. This is my pitch.
Okay.
As a candidate, that it is time to abandon the politics of complacency. It is time to abandon the politics of stagnation.
Okay.
We are entering the era of politics of do.
Okay.
Like I said at the beginning of the show, every corner, every room that I'm in, every door that I knock, I hear the same thing.
Okay.
I vote for Democrats regularly. I vote every single election.
Okay.
My economic situation is worse. My outlook on the future is worse. Gas prices are high.
Yeah.
I'm spending more at the checkout counter at the grocery store. What are you providing to me?
Wow.
If the Capitol is full of crap, I am the laxative. It is time to get some action in there, and we need somebody. And look, there is an aura of complacency, of like being okay with losing.
Okay.
Being okay with delivering half-assed, victories.
Absolutely.
And that's just not going to cut it for us anymore.
Okay.
I think if Democrats can learn anything from Donald Trump, is that he is doing. He told his base he's going to do something.
Right.
And then, might have went on the press tour and said, no, that's not true, that's not true. But day one, he got in there, he started doing it. If I had a critique with Joe Biden, I ran to be a delegate for Joe Biden.
Right.
I voted for Joe Biden.
Okay.
And voted for his vice president, Kamala Harris, to be president.
Okay.
If I had a critique with Joe Biden, it's the delayed action. Okay. I'm a student in history. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, when he became president, took over at a horrific time.
Okay.
Black Tuesday had happened. It was the Great Depression, one of the greatest moments of wealth depletion in the history of America.
Right.
He did not wait 10 years or 8 years like Democrats do when they take power in Washington to start doing stuff.
Definitely.
He passed a bill and said, we start digging on this work project next week.
Gotcha.
Seriously. Okay. Don't believe me, look it up.
Oh, yeah.
That's the kind of energy we need in this moment.
Definitely.
If we say we're going to do something, we need to do it immediately.
Okay.
If we say we're going to bring jobs to our communities, we need to do it immediately.
Okay.
How many problems can you think of off the top of your head that we have been promising that we're going to fix for the last 20 years?
Man, I'm going to tell you, we've said some things, and I think when it comes to the Democratic Party, I was talking to D-Run today, and he'll probably be back on my show. I think what happens is in what I've just talking to African Americans in the streets, you know what I'm saying? We came to a point where, hey man, we fought, we saw, we shall overcome, and we're gonna work together till we get to the top. And then when we arrive, and I think this is why the crab in the barrel mentality happens, where we say, hey man, we got a crab in the barrel mentality in the black community. Well, in some cases, you've seen where we built black leaders up only to become black supremacists and black elitists, in the party, and not really come back in cliquish and very, antagonizing, and looking down, tyrants and dictatorship, almost like a plantation, like Candyland. You know, what's the guy? You know, hey, that nigga can't sleep in this house. You gonna let him sleep in that big house, master? You know, no, you know, I think we've experienced that in some cases, in some counties across the board.
Yeah, no, I'll tell the truth, shame the devil right now.
Okay.
There are people, especially in our black communities, especially in our South Side communities.
Okay.
I talk to my friends from around the state, political operators from across the country, and they like, you know, rub the crust out of their eye. I can't believe what we're doing down here.
Right.
Where we elect the same people over and over and over again.
Right.
And there's no noticeable difference, no noticeable change on what they're doing. That's the person I'm running against. That's why I'm doing this.
Yes.
You know, the state legislature is not a reward for a life well lived.
Okay.
It is a body that you have to do work in.
Definitely.
My generation can't buy houses. They are swamped with student loan debt, with stagnant wages. There needs to be a real plan in place to get something done. Code revision is a huge one. If you can change the code of the state to allow certain houses to get built in certain communities, you open up a new stock of housing. If you ban mega corporations from out of state from buying up entire town blocks, like they're doing right here in Henry and Clayton counties, you open up a whole new stock of housing.
Wow.
Respectfully, if you are 77 years old and you've lived in your house with a mortgage that's been paid off for the last 10 years, 15 years, and you've lived in your house for 40, 50 years, that might not be top of mind to you.
Yes.
That might not be top of mind to you.
Apples and oranges.
So we need somebody who has lived real world experience that can effectively communicate and embrace the immediate urgency of this moment. That's what this is.
Wow.
Folks are getting railed at the checkout counter and at the gas pump. The cost of living is astronomical.
It is.
And the Republicans in the state legislature are goose-stepping to Donald Trump's beat. They're happy with what's going on publicly. I got a couple friends on the other side of the aisle.
I agree.
And they're just as mad about high gas prices. They're just as mad about the long lines at TSA. They're just as mad about all the stuff we're seeing. But they got an image to play. And so in the state legislature, they play the good old boy, good old girl soldier, party line soldier. That's not what I'm going up there to do.
Definitely.
I'm going up there to let how Jesus entered the temple and saw them selling merchandise at church. He was flipping the tables.
Come on now.
That's what I'm here to do. It's time for us to flip a table, man.
It's past time.
It's time for us to do something different.
Definitely.
We've been running the same playbook. Look, I'm a big football guy. We've been running the same playbook, over and over again. We keep doing this wheel route screen pass to the outside and keep wondering why our balls keep getting picked off.
Absolutely.
We got to do something different.
Absolutely.
We have to do something different. And so I'm offering a different path.
Absolutely.
Somebody with some energy and some fight who's going to shake this place up.
Man, hey, I want you to hold that thought because, man, you got my mind rolling over here with some of the things that you're dropping, man. But we got to give a shout out to our sponsor, Dr. D. Terrence Foster Foundation. You guys make sure you go support the D. Terrence Foster Foundation. They are supporting a healthcare and educational awareness initiative. April is National Stress Month. And Dr. Foster will be teaching the community about some of the things on how to manage and how to deal with stress in that incident. I also want to give a shout out to a granddaughter's love, Miss Rhonda Crockett over there at New Well, dealing with autism in adults, dealing with IDD. April is also National Autism Month. So stress, autism, we're going to be doing some things in the community, bringing people together, addressing these issues. Shout out to ViStar Credit Union. Sherry Divide and Art, State Farm. You guys stay tuned. We got to go to a commercial break. We got Duro Haynes, candidate for State Senate 17, Georgia, right here in the building. Voices of the Village podcast will change thoughts to conversation. You guys stay tuned. Ease up.
At ViStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. That's our focus. ViStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better.
Welcome to the all-new Kim Mays State Farm Agency, located at 102 Vincent Avenue in Stockbridge, Georgia, next to the Kroger Plaza on Flippin Road and Hudson Bridge. Recognized by the city of Stockbridge for her community service, Kim specializes in auto, home, and life insurance. We also offer investment and financial planning services, as well as mortgages and refinancing. As an award-winning State Farm agent, Kim's strive is to be one of South Metro Atlanta's leaders in business, with a team of qualified professionals in customer service, sales, and compliance. Covered by Kim continues to lead the way in giving clients quality service to meet their needs. Call us today at 770-282-6622 for your free home, auto, life, or small business insurance quotes. Follow us online at all social media platforms at Covered by Kim, or for more information, visit our website at coveredbykim.com. Are you covered by Kim?
Game Changers Magazine, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village podcast, where change starts with conversation. And I'm just glad to be sitting with a next generation leader today, Mr. Duro Haynes, candidate for State Senate, 17, Georgia. We got the smoke in there, man. We got the Democratic Party, Georgia, Burt Jones, Trump administration. What young people are facing today, the gas pumps. Now, you talked about young people couldn't afford gas and things of that nature. I mean, by God, and some of the you're running for District 17.
Yeah, State Senate.
Tell us what's going. Tell us why you're running, and tell us what you're going to change.
Yeah,
tell us what your objective is, and why we should vote for Duro Haynes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm running because just like everybody else, I got eyes and ears. You cut on the TV, it's chaos both at home and abroad.
Okay.
And our state, you hear folks talk a lot about states' rights. The state's supposed to be the true power in our country or whatever. Right. And when we have a real opportunity to stand up and defend our people from this insanity we see coming out of Washington.
Most definitely.
We got two problems.
Okay.
We have a Republican Party who is saluting in lockstep with Donald Trump and Washington Republicans.
Gotcha.
And we have a Democratic Party, Democratic elected officials who are asleep at the wheel.
Okay.
And sometimes I mean this very literally. Folks who don't have the energy to meet this moment.
Okay.
And, I'll be the first to say thank you for your years of service. We appreciate you for all that you've done.
Right.
A lot of times, the people that I'm talking about, oftentimes the first in many situations to represent their community. But 20, 25 years in a new problem that no American has ever seen in the history of our nation, in Donald Trump, in MAGA Republicans, requires a new voice who's bringing new solutions, new ways forward.
Okay.
The other reason why I'm running is one that's has less to do with this moment and more to do about our history.
Definitely.
22, 25 years.
Okay.
Our communities in Henry and Clayton counties have been dealing with the same issues.
Most definitely. I agree.
They have de-invested from our school, and I use the word de-invested. Okay. They're not just missing the mark with investing in us or not investing in us. You pay your taxes, I pay my taxes. They take it out of my paycheck every month.
Okay.
And they are moving it elsewhere.
Definitely.
Schools in Roswell and Avondale Estates and
Marietta,
very, very different than the schools in Clayton County.
Yes, agreed.
And that has a lot to do with the color of kids who go there.
Okay.
I mean, tell the truth, shame the devil.
Okay.
It has a lot to do about the people who live in these communities.
Okay.
And so we need somebody who has what I like to call the energy and zeal for leadership in this moment.
Okay.
Somebody who wants to raise their kids in this neighborhood.
Okay.
Look, I always tell my story that my high school classmates from Stockbridge High School.
Okay.
Love them to death. Some of the smartest, most brilliant people I've ever met.
Right.
They're in D.C.
Shout out Stockbridge.
Absolutely. But they're in D.C., they're in Austin, they're in Dallas, they're in Chicago, New York.
Okay.
They didn't come back here.
Wow.
Because they thought there was a lack of opportunity here.
Mm.
So I made a point. about coming back to my hometown after I left school.
Okay.
I made a point of saying, I love this place. This is where I grew up. I want my kids to go to my high school. I want them to eat at the same restaurants I ate at. I want them to play at the same playgrounds I played at. I want to live my life in this community because this community is home.
Right.
And we have to be prepared to do the work to make sure that our community is not just as good as it was when we were growing up, but
100%.
10 times better.
Right.
So we have to invest in our schools. We have to invest in our infrastructure. Come on, who has driven through Henry County traffic down 75?
Right.
I meet folks from all over the state.
Right.
And I say, I live in Henry County. And they're like, where's that? And I'm like, 75? They're like, where the traffic starts.
Correct.
Come on.
Correct.
We have to come up with real solutions for these problems that folks are facing, including the cost of living crisis.
Most definitely.
I keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. People are getting beat up at the gas pump and at the checkout counter at the grocery store.
Okay.
We have to come up with inventive solutions to fix these problems.
Definitely.
Be forward looking and plan towards our future as well.
Now, one of the things I think we have a big problem in the state of Georgia is price of gas is going up, price of food is going up, price of cost of living is going up, but minimum wage is not.
Come on now. I'll tell you this, the Republicans in the state Senate just blocked a bill yesterday that would raise the minimum wage to in line with the federal minimum wage.
Wow.
Federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour.
Wow.
Georgia's lower than that.
$5.15, correct?
$5.15, right on the money.
Wow.
Our leaders in the state Senate blocked it immediately. That would have opened up so many new avenues for people to keep the flow of money alive.
Correct.
Look, dipping back into my macroeconomics class,
Correct.
The flow of money, also referred to as the GDP,
Right.
Where people exchange money back and forth,
Right.
is positive for our community. And if you put more money in people's pockets, they spend more and it saves us.
Correct.
We are in the middle of a constraint.
Correct.
People are spending less and saving more. I would like to say saving more, but most people don't have $1,000 in their savings account.
They don't.
So people are surviving paycheck to paycheck.
Yes, day to day.
And this is annoying. It's more than annoying. It's infuriating that they block this raise in in pay. Right. But it's more endemic of their mindset.
Right.
It is less. They care so little about the working person.
Yes, I agree.
They care so little about the working person because their average donor is a millionaire. Their average donor is a humongous PAC or lobbyist.
Absolutely.
Who throws him a steak dinner.
Right.
And cuts him a check for $3,300.
Yes.
And that's just business as usual. So they're never going to stop corporations from buying up your block.
Correct.
They're never going to stop tech companies from abusing you. They're never going to stop these industries from monopolizing these jobs and paying you dirt. They're just not going to do it because it's not in their self-interest.
Correct.
I ain't like that. I want my neighbors to be as strong, as successful, as positive as possible.
Right.
I think one of the most important things we can do in this state is increase our economic mobility, meaning that the situation that you were born in doesn't necessarily dictate the situation that you end up in.
Wow.
That if you can do the work, what's Republicans' favorite phrase? Pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
Come on now.
If you ain't got no boots, you ain't got no straps, you ain't got nothing to pull up. I think our state could do a lot more by being a positive force in people's lives.
Correct.
By providing new avenues for them to be able to achieve more and more. So we're talking about work-based programs. We're talking about providing continuing education opportunities. We're talking about opportunities to house people. We're talking about opportunities to employ people, to raise salaries, to make it easier to start and keep open a business, to make it easier to buy and keep a home.
Correct.
That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about.
Right.
That's the type of stuff that our state should be doing.
Correct.
And we would see a ROI, return on investment, like never before.
Now, it's so interesting that you notice some of the things that you're saying about State Representative Derrick Jackson, candidate for governor, was in our office, in our building. He was on the show, and he talked about minimum wage being $20 an hour, Georgia being 85% small business state. What is your plan for small businesses that say, hey man, I gotta pay an employee $20 an hour just to work. Like, how do you balance that out so it makes sense? And Georgia's not overtaken by tech companies, and everybody's making a decent wage of living. We need AI, we need data centers, we need all of that. I'm not completely against data centers because I understand that we're using data every day, but we gotta utilize smart growth.
Yeah, smart growth is the key. It's a key word that you said there. Look, I'm not against technology or innovation.
Okay.
That's like being a caveman against fire.
Right.
It's just stupid.
Right.
But it's all about how we successfully and intelligently integrate it into our day-to-day lives.
Okay.
Tackle it. And part of your question first. Respectfully, if you are an octogenarian, you might be a little less inclined to understand the ins and outs of AI.
Right.
You might not know the difference between ChatGPT and Band 123.
Okay.
So we need folks, number one, who interact with this stuff, who understand it, who understand what came before it, and how this, flows into, we got state senators who are still trying to get caught up to the whole internet thing.
Correct.
Maybe if they understand, maybe a couple of them understand Facebook.
Yes.
And they're way ahead of the rest of their class. But we need folks who, AI is going to be a dominant factor in my life.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a dominant factor in my peers' lives.
Right.
And, folks who are older than me and younger than me.
Correct.
So we have to come up with a strategic plan.
It started with us with Terminator.
Come on now.
Come on.
Do.
So, it goes as far as back as that. What do you see? So, Democratic Party, I heard you say African American earlier when we talked about African American. I know. Do you think the black fight is over? Because with, we got African Americans having babies and marrying Caucasians, and we're becoming biracial, interracial group of people. You see what I'm saying? So is the black fight over, or is it the oppression of minority that we're fighting for in the Democratic Party? Because I don't see people say we're fighting for black people anymore. Like it's more something different. It's a different message. Tell us where we're at and how does that look?
One thing I'll say is I will always fight for the black community.
Okay, good.
I was born black, I'll die black. I always say there's only two things I got to do, and that's stay black and die.
Right.
So, but my neighbors are black. I come from two black parents.
Right.
I don't know anything else but to be black.
Okay.
Is the black fight over? No.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. The black fight, the struggle is inherently an American struggle.
Wow.
It is, from the beginning of this country, it's just been a push and pull on who gets rights and how many of those rights are recognized by our government.
Correct, I agree.
And from 1865 to 1965, that struggle happened to be bound up in is your skin black?
Yes.
And do you get to be a full-fledged citizen in this republic?
Okay.
I'll be the first to admit we have made incredible strides from 1965
most definitely
till today.
Okay.
Anybody who's selling anything else is a doom merchant. Okay. I traffic in the politics of hope. I traffic in the politics of growth and of positivity.
Okay.
So I'll tell you right now, we are better off now than we were before.
Okay.
But there is a real feeling that people feel where they feel like,
I agree.
Why are we stuck in these same battles? Why are they still trying to curtail the right to vote?
Yeah.
Why are they still trying to, I mentioned it earlier, limit the amount of contracts that go to black business owners, limit the amount of grants that go to black nonprofit leaders, stifle and stymie the growth of black students at HBCUs and predominantly black public schools.
Okay.
Why are they doing this? Because of this inherently American struggle.
Okay.
Because if we get a seat at the table, then the Latino gets a seat at the table.
Okay.
Then the Asian gets a seat at the table. Then the woman gets a seat at the table. Then the member of the LGBTQ community gets a seat at the table. Okay. It is easier to stamp us down and separate us than for us to come together and fight together.
Correct.
So, that being said, there are unique problems that only the black American faces, that only the black Georgian faces. Okay. And that's why I seek to be a champion. When I say my community, it's overwhelmingly African American.
Okay.
And I'll tell you something. A lot of people, when they hear predominantly black district or predominantly black community, they immediately think, inherently or implicitly, impoverished.
Definitely, I agree.
Anybody who knows Clayton County, my district that I'm running in covers Eagles Landing, Lake Spivey, Locust Grove, Hampton. Those folks ain't broke. Those folks ain't broke, and they got degrees.
Correct.
They're well learned.
Correct.
And that's a story that's only possible in America, in Atlanta, in particular, in the Metro Atlanta area.
Absolutely.
I remember when I went away to school in Mississippi, and I told folks I was from the suburbs, and they were like, "Oh, how many white kids did you graduate with?" And I had to tell them, I went to Stockbridge High School, where most kids come from a 2-parent household with 2 degrees that were both doing a white-collar, 6-figure jobs.
Correct.
So, but even still, right? The black woman earns 60 cents less than the white man.
Wow.
The black man earns 20 cents less than the white man.
Okay.
Even here in Atlanta, which we consider the mecca of black culture in our country.
Okay.
There are issues, there are problems that are unique to the black community.
Okay.
And I believe if we attack these, if we give space and grace so black business owners can be successful, so they can open and keep their business afloat, if we can provide adequate health care so black people so we can close the gap on lack of good health outcomes that black people face.
Okay.
If we do this and more, a rising tide lifts all ships.
Okay.
If we expand Medicaid, black people will be among the groups most positively impacted, but they will not be the only groups positively impacted.
Oh, definitely.
There will be a whole host of people who get access to affordable health care.
Okay.
If we make it easier to start and open a business, black people will be among some of the people who benefit the most from this.
From that business.
But they won't be the only ones, because these businesses will serve people of all colors and creeds, religions, and racial backgrounds.
Okay.
That dollar that gets spent will enter our state's economy, and it will spur investment and development all the way up from North Georgia down to the coast.
Wow.
So, rising tide lifts all ships. If we take care of our people, it'll take care of our state.
Man, a lot of you dropping a wealth of knowledge and a drop of bomb. I am so excited about our next generation leaders of today, those that are changing the game in 2026. Now, a lot of people probably taking you for granted, don't really know your resume. They really don't know. You talk about being the head of the Democratic Party here in County.
Yeah.
You've worked with a prominent leader, David Scott.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tell us what your experience was like with that and what you learned from that experience, why you are running today, and how that impacted to bring you to where you are today. Because David Scott is powerful.
Yeah. So I was a senior staffer in Congress for the last 3.5 years. 4 years I worked in that office, and I did everything from answering the phones all the way up to being in important meetings with, nationwide leaders.
Wow.
So I've cut my teeth here and there, but I think the thing that I was most proud of my work in that office was being our district appropriations and appropriations staffer.
Okay.
For folks who don't know, the appropriation is the budget. And each member gets about 15 projects that they can submit. So we're talking about road investments.
Wow.
We're talking about one of the things that I was most happy about was a after-school program for Henry County schools. Okay. But over the course of my career in that office, my time in that office, $33 million, more than $33 million that I had direct hands on getting to our communities. And I mean places that, I'm running to represent now, in Stockbridge and Hampton and Lovejoy and Jonesboro. These are places where roads got built, bridges got built, programs got created because of this money. And I'm so proud of my time in that office to be able to do that, to work in my neighborhood and see that real change.
Man, and I think a lot of times we always say passing the torch. You are a living example of the torch being passed. Tell us, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, well, I'm running against this incumbent, so it is not like a willing passing of the torch.
Absolutely.
But I think that's one of the more crucial reasons for why it needs to happen.
Okay.
I always say that if I run this race and I lose, and and she starts showing up in our community.
Right.
She starts making these connections with our folks, starts visiting her constituents and talking to them.
Yeah.
I have done my job. It was worth it.
Definitely.
But when you talk about passing the torch, about creating this new, I keep iterating it over and over again.
Okay.
We are in unprecedented times.
Definitely. I agree.
If you are running a playbook from the Obama administration or from the Bush administration,
right,
you're failing this moment.
You're failing this moment. Definitely.
You are failing this moment.
Definitely.
We need somebody who's not just writing the resistance in this Trump administration.
Definitely.
We need somebody who's charting out the blueprints for the next 10, 20 years of what our community looks like.
I agree.
The seat that we get at this table, that is our state legislature.
Okay.
What are we saying? What are we doing? Where are we putting our money? What are we caring about? How are we focused on creating new opportunities for the next generation and also for this generation who's already here?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just want to say thank you for taking the time out. I know your schedule's busy. For those who want to support Duro Haynes, your campaign, how do they find? How do we put some money in your pocket, man? You know, one thing I believe our generation before us, we have to do. We have to financially support you, because I think a big thing that we have going on in our communities, we want people to run, and we got the politics, but we don't have the economics. Mm-hmm. You know, so how can we support you? What we need to do to find you online, get behind your campaign, jump with you.
Yeah, Duroforgeorgia.com. That's DUROFOR, Georgia spelled out, okay. .com. That's where you can find my links to donate, but also some of my platform information.
Definitely.
So you can get to know me. Links to my social media, okay. So you can follow me and stay up to date with me. It's a real good resource. There's also a map on there. So if you think you might be in the district and want to check, there's a good resource on there for you.
Definitely.
But yeah, definitely all donations are absolutely appreciated. Mm-hmm. I really do. Because we are building a community-centered, people-first campaign.
Man, I love it. I love it. Anything you would like to share with our audience before you leave today? I know we've had you here probably over your time. You got to get out there and knock on some doors. I've been seeing you on social media knocking on doors. Your boots on the ground. I can appreciate everything you're doing. Anything you'd like to say to our audience before you leave? Yeah, first, I'll always take out time to come sit down and chat with you. It's always such a good conversation. But absolutely. My last go-home pitch has nothing to do with my campaign. Okay. It has a lot to do about this moment, because I know it's dark and I know it's scary. Yes. But like I said earlier, I traffic in the politics of hope. Okay. There is always a path forward. We just have to be willing to get up off the couch and go work to do it. If you see campaigns this cycle that you care about, people that you believe in, folks that you think should be wielding power, yes, support them, help them. If you see a vacuum in your community, yes, if there's a group of people, if folks aren't talking to seniors are shut in, I'm begging you, okay, you be that voice, you be that light, spread that good news, get that done. We have to be the people who believe and carry the torch, especially when it's dark out. And it's dark out right now, but the sun's going to rise. Man, thank you for taking the time out, Mr. Duro Haynes. Shout out to all the, man, shout out to Jada Williams. Shout out to Adrian Conacer Jr., all the young people. I want to also give a shout out to Mayor Melvin Harper III out there in Ocilla, Georgia. Home of the sweet potato. Rural Georgia is definitely making some progressive movements out there. Shout out to the Rural Progressive Georgia, Patrick Davis, Promise, his team. You guys all across Waycross and Jessup and Hinesville, in the trenches out. We see you guys. We know that you're working, and we're here to mobilize Georgia in the correct way. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Voices of the Village podcast, where change starts with conversation. You guys, make sure you come out, support your local leaders, and stay tuned, because we got the spring 2026 edition of Game Changers magazine, our 40th edition. We've been in the game for 10 years. It's the last publication for our 10-year anniversary effort, so I want you guys to get our support and make sure that you guys always stay connected with your community, and make sure we stay changing the game. Game Changers Magazine, Game Changers Media Network, Voices of the Village podcast, where change starts with conversation. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Justice and peace and equality. Now the world they will see. That's why.